Good morning, it's Charlie. I'm not sure if it's morning where you are, but it is morning where I am, and I just woke up a little while ago. I have the house to myself because Nathan's at work and Nozomi is at a sleepover. But I've had this idea in my head for a couple months now of a series that I would like to start about my magical home, and just kind of things that I've learned creating a magical home. I also am going to apologize for the lighting. I'm going to try to keep it as bright as possible up here, but I am backlit by my window behind me. I just really liked having Jessica, my majestic palm, who you may see in other videos. I liked having her as my backdrop. So we also have to deal with the fact that she needs sunlight and she's in front of the window. So there may be times where I'm up here a little darker, and that's because I've got natural light coming in from behind. This series is going to be kind of all about just the magical home and my sharing and I don't know if it'll be tips or if it'll just be sharing what I do, but sharing my experience with creating a magical home. So for those of you who don't know, if you haven't been here, if you're new, I've been creating videos about witchcraft and spirituality on YouTube for I think like over 15 years now. I've been practicing for over 25. I consider myself a Japanese witch. That's my identifier. So I'm ethnically Jewish on my mom's side, Japanese on my dad's side, and was so blessed to meet an entire other Japanese community. There are more of us than I ever even realized that there were. I knew that there would be some. I thought maybe like a handful, but there are like hundreds of Japanese people. And it's been amazing, but that's a story for another time. And this series is inspired because my life is just amazing. It's just so incredible lately. Like the last couple of years have just been incredible. And it's pardon me for saying so, but it's fucking well-deserved after the several years that I had before that. But I credit the kind of wonderfulness that is my recent life with a combination of reclaiming and rerouting myself in my ancestral practices, so the spiritual practices that my ancestors practiced, so Judaism, Shinto, Buddhism, and also the space that I create for myself deliberately, my home, like the energy and the space that I keep my home. I've always been pretty sensitive to that, but I'm very, very, very intentional about it now. And because now my home feels peaceful, I feel peaceful. That said, I think one of the reasons my home feels peaceful is because of the topic that I'm going to share with you today, which is listening to your home. And what I mean by that is my entire life, and this could be an ancestral thing because I later learned as I was learning about my ancestral spiritual practices that it's kind of a common belief system within some of those as well. I believe that, and I've always believed this since I was a little kid, that everything has like a spirit or a consciousness or like they're all alive. Everything's alive. And so it used to make it really difficult for me as a kid to kind of get rid of or donate or sell at garage sales some toys that I no longer played with because I always felt such deep empathy for them. Like they are going to be sad if I don't want them anymore. I couldn't eat cookies that had faces, like if you like a Cookie Monster cookie or like a Bert and Ernie cookie. I couldn't eat them if they had faces because it was like I don't want to hurt them. My whole life I've assigned these kind of emotions and traits to all things. It wasn't until my later years, my adult years, that I've learned that things want to be used. They want to be useful. They want to be appreciated for their purpose. And if I can't give them purpose aside from feeling bad that I don't want to get rid of them, then their life isn't happy. So now I'm able to freely and happily donate, knowing and trusting that, like, if I'm not donating this pot. I was recently repotting, but say I didn't have a need for this pot anymore. In the past, I'd be like, oh, I can't get rid of it because it's going to feel sad if I get rid of it. And so I would want to keep it. I didn't get quite so attached to things like pots, mostly things with faces or things that I had for many years or things that were gifted to me by people I loved. But I'm using the pot as an example. But now I know, like, if I'm not going to use this, this pot is not going to have the life that it wants and feel fulfilled in its little spirit self if it's not housing a plant or being useful in some capacity. So, then I can donate it and know that it's going to find a place where it can have a purpose. Because we all, I think deep down, all of us, that's what we want, is to feel like we have purpose. So I've lived in over 30 houses in my life. My family moved around quite a bit when I was a kid. And I can assure you that houses also have spirits. Every single time we moved, some houses were more difficult to leave than others, but every time I would always hug the house goodbye and tell it thank you and thank it for the memories and for keeping me safe and for giving me a home. And I've always connected with my home, like my houses and my things, in that weird, bizarre way. That's just how I've seen the world my entire life. So when we moved into our home now, it was built in 1959. It's been owned by one family before us. They lived here for 60 years, and they took impeccable care of this home. That's why we bought it. It wasn't the style that I wanted. I wanted some big old Victorian, and thank goodness my dad talked me out of that. He's like, there's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of like repairs and things in the walls that you don't know are there. I had this romanticized view of big Victorian homes. But this one, it seemed so plain, and I was like not the biggest fan, but Nathan was like, it has good bones. It's a solid house. Like, it is a sturdy, solid, well-built house, and it is. And now we've lived here for over 5 years, and I love it. I love my home. I don't want to stay in the town that I'm in forever, but I don't want to leave my home, so we'll see what happens. It's possible I stay here forever just because I love my home so much. But when we first moved here, we had these ideas. We were watching a lot of HGTV, as new home buyers often do, getting these ideas from Chip and Joanna Gaines about turning everything to modern farmhouse shabby chic. And now, with a deeper appreciation for architectural structure and design and interior design and kind of period purity, fewer things architecturally and design-wise break my heart harder than seeing someone take a beautiful home and just fucking gut it and turn it into a modern farmhouse. It hurts my soul to see that happen. Because more often than not, that's not what the house wants. That's what the people living in the house wants. And you can argue, I mean, obviously, like, you bought the house, it's yours now, whatever. That's fine. But for me, and for how I see the world and how I relate to the world in a spiritual way, the house is its own entity. Like, the house, I don't, like, yes, do I own my house? Yes. I have a mortgage on the house. I pay for the house. If you try to come in and take my house, I'm going to be like, fuck you, this is my house. But on a spiritual level, I treat the home as its own being. And that's something that has helped me create a very, very magical home. And that's what I wanted to share with you all in this My Magical Home series, is kind of ways that you can bring more magic into your home. So the first is one that not a lot of people like to hear, and you can take this or leave this. It's up to you, because at the end of the day, the home that you live in, whether you rent it or you buy it, you have full control over what changes you decide to make to the home. Just know that if you want to listen to your house and ask it what it wants, it will tell you. You just have to be quiet and listen. When we first moved in here, we had a one-track mind. We're going to do kind of modern farmhouse shabby chic, and then Nathan's like, oh, what if we did like a fusion with like glam elements? And my chandelier, I'll see if you can, up here, which I'm going to keep because I do love this chandelier. That is one of the last vestiges of the glam era. We were gonna, this is we were like, okay, we're gonna have kind of like this like glam, and we can have everything's be very cool toned. So we've got gray walls. We painted the walls gray because we were brainwashed by HGTV. I'm gonna keep them gray because it was a lot of work to paint them, and there's no use painting over again. Well, like, I can make the gray work, but it's incredible because the home actually wants warm tones. So do you see the door behind me? This like kind of blonde wood. I used to hate that. I used to hate that kind of wood, and that's everywhere in this house. It's on the baseboards, it's around the windows, it's the frame of the windows, it's all of the cabinets in the kitchen are that. Every single door is that in the house, and I had dreams and aspirations of, we are going to pull up all the baseboards, I'm going to get big chunky white baseboards, big white doors with the I don't know what it's called, but like, like the design elements in where you have like it's like not flat, right? There's like depth to it. You know what I'm talking about? There's like traditional doors, you know what I mean? That's what I was going to do. And I'm going to have to do that with all the trim because I want it all white. One of the best pieces of advice I got when we bought our home was actually from my dad. He gave me quite a lot of good advice about home ownership, come to think of it, but one in particular was don't do anything to your home for a year. Live in your house for a full year before you make any changes. Don't come in and start like landscaping or digging things up or pulling up floors. Live in it for a year and just kind of get used to the house. And I'll add this, these weren't his words, these are my words. Get used to the house's energy. Get to know the house, Like if you don't meet a friend and instantly try to change them. You get to know them. And through that relationship, hopefully symbiotic relationship between one another, each of you will grow to become more improved versions or better versions of yourself, elevated versions of yourselves. But hopefully also retaining a respect for that natural, like just kind of the natural core of who that friend is. So I'm not friends with people because I can mold them into who I want them to be. I'm friends with the people I'm friends with because, and the people that I love, because inside of them there's this core that I'm very attracted to and that I honor and appreciate. And I want to help them, as my loved ones, I always want to help them feel inspired and confident to really play off of that deep core of who they are, kind of be more of that of them. So never changing them, but just kind of helping them feel the permission to be themselves more wholly and fully and loudly and joyously. And I view my home the same way as a friend. It does all the things that a friend does. Like it provides me support, and it gives me a safe place to be. It makes me happy. It's everything that I own, and in particular the home, because that's what that's what this series is about, has a personality or just kind of like a life of its own. And I don't want to come in and bulldoze that and do away with what already exists. I want to come in and enhance that and honor what already is there. So, the first full year we didn't do anything. Well, we did. We did this chandelier, and that was the first mistake, because had I been silent for a year, perhaps we wouldn't have done the chandelier. But I'm fine with it because I do like the chandelier. It casts this really cool pattern on the wall in the evening that just makes me feel really happy, and kind of takes me back to one of my favorite homes that I lived in as a child. Was one that my family built, and there's something about the lighting of this chandelier that echoes the lighting in that home, so it's welcome for me. That's another thing about me, is lighting is a big deal. Like, a space can be made or broken with how it's lit. And I say this all as I'm like making a fucking video being backlit by natural light, which is like the worst lighting you could possibly do in a video where you're supposed to be watching me speak. So yeah, that's basically it. Listen to your home. My home eventually told me through just inspiration. That's how it came to me. And it might be different for everyone. But for me, it started coming through inspiration. Like I would start having visions for things. We have these old chairs that we inherited from Nathan's aunt's father. His uncle's, his biological uncle's wife's father, right? These old chairs, I had no idea what we were ever going to use them for. I was getting ready. They were in our basement in storage, and I was thinking, like, we'll just take these to, like, a donation center. And then we ended up getting a new dining room table that more, it fit the space, because we didn't actually have a dining room table before. We were using a hand-me-down that did not match at all. And so we bought a new dining room table, and it came with one bench. So I have like a bench on one side and then no chairs on the other, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get some of these. This is while I'm still in my glam era, right? I'm going to get one of those high back chairs with like the like, it's got like fucking fabric over it and like the little like grommets down the side, but I didn't want the grommets. I just wanted the chair with like, it's like a chair and then there's like a thing over it so you can't see the chair legs, you know what I'm talking about? I wanted to do that in the dining room. And then we were in the basement one day and I was like, oh, these chairs here, the ones from his aunt's father, this wood actually really matches upstairs. Let's take them up and I'll actually show you. I'm going to lift up a little. Well, I'll just get, yeah. So I'll just lift it up a little bit. So this is the chair. Do you see it? It's like it matches perfectly. Let's put it upstairs. So we did, and I fucking fell in love with it. And from that point on, I just became obsessed with like this sort of honey mapley wood. And that is the end of that. It's that, and then also I really love another type of wood that we have in our home in several places is mango wood. So I've got some furniture that is mango wood. It just has some really nice grain. But anyway, so we came in here wanting to do like grays and whites and all these cool tone colors, and then my house was like, no thank you, I would like warm, please. I would like warm colors. And it inspired me to start making these changes, and it's like the house showed me the vision. The house was like, grab those chairs, take them upstairs, it's going to match with the rest of my trim, which I really like, so please bring them up. And then I did, and I was like, oh my god, I fucking love this. And then the house was like, see, I told you I know what I'm talking about. And so then I just started listening to my home, and that was the whole beginning of creating my magical home. The other thing, and then I'll cut this video short because we'll talk about things in other videos of the series, but the other thing for no, you know what, that's it, just listen to your home. Listen to your home. Your home will tell you what it wants if you listen to it. And when you start to listen to what the home wants and the spirit of the home, let me just show you also another thing here. I'm just going to show you one other thing. So this is Mizuki. Show them your beautiful face. Look at how beautiful you are. This is Mizuki. We rescued her last October as a kitten. We weren't originally going to get her. We were going to get her sister Miso. They're not actually related by litter. But we adopted two cats at the same time, two kittens at the same time. And Mizuki is just hilarious. She's she's so dramatic. She's like, ow, that hurts. No, it doesn't hurt. Stop it. Stop it. She's the funniest cat. She plays fetch. She does all these cool things, all these cool tricks. Look at her. She hates this. But she's so tolerant. All my animals are so tolerant of me. Okay, I love you. But you have to stop fucking with Jessica, okay? Can you please leave her alone? That would be great. Thank you. I love you. Please get your butt out of my face. Thank you. She's, Mizuki's my cat, and she's just incredible. She's such a cool cat. She plays fetch. She, like, has these weird sounds where she sounds like a toddler. She waddles because, I don't know, I think that there was something, I think that she had like something wrong with her development as she was a kitten, because she was probably a stray and not getting the right nutrition. So she, like, there might be something wrong with her posture because she kind of had, I don't know, it's weird. Oh, Girl, your tail is making it not focus. Mizuki, stop it. Alright. Yeah, so she's just really cool. But, you gotta get down. Thanks. But, yeah, so listening to the home. It'll tell you what it wants. And, it was when I started listening that this inspiration just, and like I said, that's how it communicated with me, was through inspiration. So I would see certain things and I'd be like, oh, like, well, let me do this, and I just sort of ran with it. And then at some point Nathan like had no more say in the design, because I was just like, no, this is what we're going to do here, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and he likes it, but it's just because I was so in tune at that time with the spirit of the house, and what it was looking for. It also is beautiful because this house honors Nathan and myself as well. So Nathan's grandparents are from Sweden. Mine are from Japan. So Swedish or Scandinavian style design and Japanese design complement. They actually they pair really nicely together. There's actually a fusion called Japandi, and it's basically just like clean lines and would you stop clawing my feet? Mizuki is under the chair playing with my feet, and I don't want her to play. Don't play with my feet. Don't play with my feet. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. It's like clean lines, natural, a lot of very natural materials, so like concrete, wood, stone, versus really like synthetic materials. And yes, Chris Ashburn, if you were watching, we can have a good discussion about natural versus man-made. I know we've had this before. I'm in full agreement with you, but for the sake of the video, like a more natural in their natural state versus synthetic or kind of further processed materials. Because Chris and I have talked about how everything that exists is natural, because everything that exists came from Earth. It all came from nature at some point. Even plastic, came from the Earth. But yeah, so this house, while it inspires me to certain kind of design concepts and what it wants, and I've got cat hair on my mouth, it also really cradles my and Nathan's roots, because Nathan and I, we wanted to have kind of a space that honored where our ancestors came from, and bring that kind of through in the way that we live, and the furniture that we have, and the design elements that we use. And so what the house wants and what we want pair very nicely together. So we are a very good team, and I think all of that, and just kind of this outpouring of love that I mean, I'm sure you guys can tell through the video that I love my house. So that all lends itself to this really amazing, beautiful, peaceful, clean, clear, bright energy of my home. Also, one of the first things I do every morning when I wake up is I open all the windows to let my house breathe. So, unless the air quality is poor, which it's been lately because of the wildfires in Canada, unfortunately. So anyway, I've yammered on and on and on. I've talked for so long, as I am wont to do, and that's pretty much everything that I have for this video. But if you have any, again, and full disclaimer, I will never make a video that I don't want to make. I'm not here to like gain followers or build an audience or anything like that. That was old me. I cared about those things. I don't give a shit about that now. Now I just want to create things that I want to create. I want to talk about things that I want to talk about that I feel are useful for other people. But sometimes I don't think of everything. So if you have an idea of what you would want to see in the My Magical Home series that I haven't thought of, let me know. And if I like it, I'll add it to the series. So anyway, I hope you are all doing wonderful, and I'm sending so much love and many blessings and brightness and just all good things your way. And I'll talk to you all soon. Much love.